can't beat that really, but I will try. Ladies and gentlemen, it falls upon me, your lassie for this evening, to take up the challenge of replying to Robert's toast. And I would really like to thank him for being so lovely about us. Now, gentlemen, you may not realise just how wonderful it is to be a lassie. So I've compiled a list of 10 reasons. First, we got to get off the Titanic first. We are groupies rather than stalkers. We can cry and bat our eyelashes and are excused speeding fines. We never look like a frog in a blender when dancing. And we never have to reach down every so often to make certain our bits are still there. We don't have to sweat through a three-piece suit at a July wedding or at a Burns night supper. We never regret piercing our ears and seldom go bald. We have the magic ability to assess a laddie just by looking at his shoes. And the number one reason why it is so great to be a lassie is that we can scare every laddie with mysterious gynecological excuses. Unfortunately, I have to lower the tone of the evening and talk about laddies. Not in any way suggesting the two things go hand in hand. And what better way to pay homage on this day, after the birth of Scotland's favourite son, than a bit of poetic verse. Ah, how my female heart yearns for this yesteryear of Robbie Burns, where men were men and women fair of face, objects of desire, but firmly in their place. How would we modern women fare, do you suppose, if all men were to liken us to a red, red rose? Would our hardened hearts not beat and flutter so if you called us your Highland lassie, oh? Could Cupid's arrow possibly miss a score if our lips man planted a fond kiss? With pleasure would we not nearly die if your body met us coming through the rye? We'd surely be delighted, truth to tell, if affectionately you called us Little Nell. But towards you we would vent our spleen if you held us tight and called us Bonnie Jean. Oh, the scally poet, handsome and so wise, was no saint and liked to womanize, but he did it with panache and charm, and flattering words kept him out of harm. In his day he was a heavy hitter, but our hearts today all the more brittle. We women now expect equality, but surely we'd still go weak at knee if you men could only be less modern and a little more romantic. I know we've heard you all wax lyrical. Express your love without being satirical. For your sweet beloved lassie right enough, sometimes our men are made of softer stuff. Yes, you're full of bonhomie and banter, but can any of you pen the tam o' shanter? Most of you can spin a line, but who of you can write Auld Lang Syne? Even in Robbie's un-PC times, there were women standing up for their own sex. There's one Miss Sparrow from Fulham in 1889 wrote in Titbits, comparing a man to a useless pet. I do not care to enlarge my menagerie of pets, and I find the animal man less docile than a dog, less affectionate than a cat, and less amusing than a monkey. Even today, laddies are the butt of many a joke, and there was one I found that I thought was quite funny, so I hope you do too. One lassie could never get her husband to do anything around the house. He'd come home from work, sit in front of the telly, eat dinner, sit some more, but would never do these little household repairs that most husbands take care of. This frustrated the lassie quite a bit. One day the loo stopped working, and when her husband got home, she said sweetly, "The loo's clogged up, would you look at it?" Her husband snarled, "What do I look like, the toilet mender, Amanda?" and sat down on the sofa. The next day, the sink disposal wouldn't work, and when her husband got home, she said to him very nicely, "The sink disposal won't work. Would you try and fix it for me?" Once again, he growled, "What do I look like, Mr. Plumber?" The next day, the washing machine was on the blink, and when her husband got home, she steeled up her courage and said, "Darling, the washing machine isn't running." And again, she was met with a snarl. "What do I look like, the Neff repairman?" Finally, she just had enough. The next morning, she called 3 repairmen, one to fix the loo, the sink, and then the washing machine. When her husband got home, she said, "Darling, I got the repairmen out today." He frowned. "Well, how much is that going to cost me?" "Well, darling, they all said I could pay them by baking a cake or having sex with them." "Well, what kind of cakes did you bake for them?" he asked. She smiled. "Well, what do I look like? Fanny Craddock?" So, laddies, for all of you who think a woman's place is in the kitchen, just remember that is where the knives are kept. So before we toast the laddies, I'm going to give the last word to our lovely Mr. Burns. "We will build a wee house, and we will live like king and queen. Say blithe and merry we will be when you set by the wheel at eve. A man may drink and no be drunk, a man may fight and no be slain. A man may kiss a bonny lass, and I be welcome back again. So before another minute passes, let us stand and raise our glasses. In a toast from the lassies, all now get up off your asses." So lassies, can we now raise our glasses to the laddies?
Oh, the laddies. Well done.
Well spoken.